Hello everyone, I'm Microsoft MVP Tom Morgan. I thought I'd do a quick video talking about Microsoft Build because it's coming up next week, and I was going to do a blog post with kind of all the sessions that I'm interested in, and then I thought actually why don't I do a video because it gives me a bit more context to talk about some of the sessions as well and just talk through how I use the session scheduler as well to find sessions and what I'm looking for at Microsoft Build this year. So Microsoft Build is Microsoft's developer conference. So that's kind of key to keep in mind. We've got Microsoft Ignite as well. And so Build is very much focused on developers. So that's going to be the theme of the sessions. So that's worth remembering. You don't have to be a developer to attend. There's lots and lots of things that are really interesting. And you'll pick up loads and loads of good information. If you're not a developer, it's just worth bearing in mind the theme of the sessions tends to be developer focused. All right, so let's look firstly at the session scheduler because anybody can register right now. It's free to register, and all you need to do is go to build.microsoft.com, and that's where you get started, and you need to register and do all those things, and then you end up at the Microsoft Build kind of portal, which is mybuild.microsoft.com, and that's where you get the session scheduler. So let me show you what I mean. This is the session scheduler. Now, you can use this in a number of different ways. There are lots and lots of different sessions, and they overlap and they repeat. So one of the things that I think Microsoft have really learned from doing virtual sessions is repeat the sessions, repeat in different time zones. So you can always kind of, all the good sessions, like the ones that Microsoft think are going to be popular, will get repeated in different time zones. And in terms of using this, really, I would say just try and pick keywords that line up with things you think you're going to be interested in. So for instance, I might search for Teams, okay, because I want to look at sessions that have something to do with Microsoft Teams in them. And so lots of sessions here, some in English, some in Japanese, but I can look to the titles here to kind of tell me what's going on. If you see R1, R2, or R3 after the session, it means it's a repeat. And so you can either take that as the repeat, or you can try and find the original and see if, because the original one will always be first. So if you want to get the information first, go and look for the original sessions, and if it lines up with the time zone you're happy to go and sort of watch the content in, great. If not, have a look at one of the repeat sessions because they'll be in a different time zone. I can show you that actually. So if I now search for learn how to build exciting apps, then I'll get the main session and then I'll get the repeat as well. And sometimes there's more than one repeat. This time there's only one repeat, and you can see, so this time we're looking at here is British summertime. So I can either watch it at 11:30 at night on the Tuesday, or I can watch it at 3:30 in the afternoon on the Wednesday. All right. So first things first, find the sessions you're interested in. So searching by keywords definitely is a really good way of doing it. And I would say look around, try different keywords out. You might be interested in Teams, you might be interested in development platform, you might be interested in tabs or bots or calling or .NET or mobile development or gaming or all sorts of things, right? You can search, use these keywords and just try and kind of pick up on the titles and the abstracts to find things you're interested in. The other thing you can do is go hunting by speakers. So if you've got favorite speakers or you've got people who you know own a particular product group or technology, you can go searching for those people as well. You can do that right here from this keyword search. So I can search for, let's say, Scott, and I'll see all the Scotts. I'll see Scott Guthrie, Scott Hanselman, Scott Hunter's in here, I'm sure somewhere, Kevin Scott, and I can just click on each of those people, and then I can see the sessions that they're presenting. So I can see here that Kevin Scott is he's presenting this one and it's being repeated, so I can choose when I want to watch that. So that's how I hunt for sessions, and when I see a session I like, I either or let's say this one, I'll either add the session, so this one's already added, or I'll also add it and save it to my backpack. Backpack is like favorites, so adding it to your schedule literally adds it to your schedule. So if you go up to my schedule in the top right here, this one's in my time zone, you can see the things that I've added to my schedule. And I'm going to go through what they are in a minute, just so you can kind of see what's in my schedule. The other thing though, not all the sessions, slightly confusingly, not all the sessions can be added to your schedule because not all the sessions are going to happen in real time. Some of the sessions are on demand only. So two different types. This one, for instance, that's full because it's an interactive session. I can't join this, but I can save it to my backpack. And then some other sessions are on demand only. So I'm probably not going to be able to find one now, but if you scroll through, you'll see one that's like on demand only. It just says on demand, and the only option you've got here is to save it to your backpack. What that means is for the full sessions, when the recording's available, it will get added to your backpack. And for the on-demand sessions, once the conference itself starts and like some point through the conference, that will become available and it will automatically get added to your backpack. So your backpack can be a collection of all sorts of things. So I tend to also add things that I'm adding to the schedule. I'll also add to my backpack as well, because then it means that my backpack is like one list of all the videos that I want to watch. And because all the things that go into my backpack are either sessions that I will either attend or some for whatever reason can't attend, even though I wanted to, and then the recording will get added in here, or possibly they go straight here because they're on-demand sessions. So this is an on-demand one here. Actually, you can see it says on-demand. All right, so let's look through what I've got in my backpack and why I think they're interesting. So let's look at my schedule first. A couple of things on my schedule which I think are interesting and worth highlighting. This one here, building the next generation of collaborative apps for hybrid work. Why do I think this is interesting? Okay, partly because of the people that are speaking. So Jeff Teeper, Yina, Mary, and Archana. If you go and look at the profiles of those people, you'll understand why I've chosen this session. Interesting mix of people. So some interesting things that are being said in here as well. So I don't know. I think this feels like a good leveler, if you like. Maybe some demos, I don't know. But like, I think this will be a good high level where we're going. Kind of almost like a state of the nation, if you like. So Jeff is likely to kind of lay out maybe the groundwork, if you like. You know, he's a CVP of Teams, OneDrive, and SharePoint, right? So he's kind of talking from that level. So I think that'd be interesting, really interesting to see what he has to say. And then these other people as well are kind of specialists in their own areas around Graph, around Azure Communication Services, and around Teams. So I think it will be kind of interesting to see all those people talking together in the same room. I think that could be really interesting. So that's one thing. This session as well, I kind of want to bring to your attention. I think this is interesting, really interesting. Again, some of the people in it are interesting, but also the abstract here really caught my attention. So you'll hear about expanded features, customizable communications, APIs for hybrid scenarios. I don't know what those are, but they sound interesting and they sound fun. And it ends with Teams is the future of work. So that sounds really interesting. So I'm definitely going to be kind of attending this and seeing if there's any announcements that come out of that. That sounds interesting to me. Other things, I'm going to put links, by the way, to all of these things that I'm talking about. I'll put links in the description as well, directly to where these sit in the session scheduler, so you can find them yourself and add them yourself as well. So I talked about this one. I've talked about this one at the bottom. I haven't talked about this one, and I haven't talked about this one. So let's do that now. Developer tooling. So this is all about developer toolings to make building apps in Teams simpler. So this is really good to see. I don't know if it'll be anything new or whether it'll be like a recap of what because there've been lots of innovations in tooling for building Microsoft Teams apps over the past 12 months. So I don't know if it will be covering that or whether it'll be something new or whatever. So this is a good one for developers who are building applications on Microsoft Teams. I think this is a really good session to attend to kind of get an overview, if you like, and just make sure you're not missing anything and see what's coming as well. So this is definitely like a staple, if you like, staple session for kind of developers to watch. And then this one should be really interesting if you do anything with Bot Framework, if you do anything with Bot Framework Composer, if you do anything with AI. This looks really interesting, and again, really interesting mix of people. If you look through the bios of the people on the session here, very interesting mix. I think good fusion of AI and Bot Framework. I think that this will be an interesting session as well to kind of see what's coming, and maybe get some demos as well. Who knows? All right, and other things that are on my schedule. So I put in a repeat because I can't remember why. I think the Tuesday session, it was either very late. Yeah, it's quite a late one, so I was thinking maybe I'll miss it. So I've put the repeat in here as well. This one sounds kind of interesting. Sounds like it's going to be show some demos, show some examples of how people are using Microsoft Teams, how they're building solutions using Microsoft Teams. I always love these sessions for kind of art of the possible, but like actually what people are doing, and it gives you ideas for things you can do as well. So that's a good one, I think, to attend. Understanding how people in the real world are building apps on Microsoft Teams is always a good one. We've covered this one, I think. Yep, we talked about that one, and we talked about that one and that one, and that's because we jump back over here. This will be a fun one. The one with managing technical debt with feature flags, that's just a personal, I think I'll get a lot out of that one. Nothing to do with Teams and development, just caught my eye as I was going through the session scheduler, and I thought, yep, that's a pain point for me, so I could learn something from that. And that's another great way to use the session scheduler as well, by the way. If you just see something, if it's nothing to do with your area of interest or area of expertise, but it sounds interesting, great, throw it in. It's always good to kind of you'll pick up some new stuff, learn some new information, learn some new knowledge, and you can apply that to what you do today. Again, this one should be a good session, a fun-filled rundown, no less. It's going to be lots of content and demos and stuff. I mean, just look at the people on the list. It's going to be action-packed as well. It's going to be a pretty busy 2 hours, I would imagine. And all of those people, every single one of those people on the call are really accomplished speakers and presenters. So, it should be really interesting. Really interesting, that one. And then in the backpack, I've got a couple of other things that don't make it onto the schedule itself that I will be kind of consuming, if you like. A couple of on-demand sessions. This one, I can't highlight enough. These two: Fluid Framework, Fluid Design System, building Microsoft Teams apps with Fluid Framework and Fluid Design System. Don't know anything about this, but it sounds really interesting. And it sounds like, Microsoft Teams is evolving to support the Fluid Design System and Fluid Framework. So, it sounds like that's already happening. And I'm not super into the Fluid Framework in terms of I haven't spent a whole ton of time understanding it really deeply. So I'm definitely going to be not attending. These are on-demand sessions, right? So I'm definitely going to be watching both of these sessions to figure out how I use this and how I integrate it into my solutions today. And then integrating Teams data using Microsoft Graph, again, another staple. Nick's a great speaker and really knows his stuff. So that's a really good one to watch as well. If you do anything with Microsoft Graph development, definitely want to make sure you attend that one. All right, so that's kind of what I'm going to be looking at Build. Like I say, I'll put links to everything that I've just spoken about. I'll put links to everything in the description so you can go through and see the ones that I'm attending and that I've got in my backpack. Those are the things I'm doing. Interested to know what you're doing. How do you approach Build? Is this how you do it? Am I doing it wrong? Am I doing it right? Do you do it differently? Do you not plan? Do you just kind of show up on the day and see what's happening live on the home screen? Because I know some people do that as well. Do you meticulously plan more so than I have? What's your strategy? What's your approach? I feel like we're figuring out how to do virtual events, because this approach is different, by the way, to how I'd approach a in-person event, for sure. Very different. There's all sorts of differences actually, and all other things that you do with live events, in-person events, that you can't really do with virtual events. So it feels like we're just now figuring out how to succeed at virtual events. So that's my approach. Hope it helps you if you're thinking about what sessions to attend for Build, and let me know in the comments. All right, thanks very much for watching.